Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and we are here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion part 2. The first 10 minutes of this episode was a lot, okay? But of course that's because it came off of the heels of how we ended last week with a lot. So let's just break this thing here on down. Let's get into it. But real quick, before we do, I want to say, last week, I came to y'all at the end of the video and I said, listen, I'm just up under 300 subscribers. Please help me get there. Let me tell you what y'all did for me. Y'all took me from just under 300 to over 500 subscribers. Thank you so very much. And if you're not in that number, please click subscribe. I mean, just, it's somewhere. Y'all be on here all the time. Y'all know where it's at. Just click it. Let's get into this episode. We start out with Carlos is asking Martell about if he would have married his side piece had he met her before he met Mel. And Martell is sitting there like he got a mouthful of rocks. And Marceau is in the corner saying no. Mel is like, just let him answer. And Marceau is over there, no, because she only liked him because he got money. I'm trying to tell his dumb ass that, but Martell finally speaks up and says, basically, I plead the fifth. I don't want to answer the question. And Carlos asks Mel, how does she feel about that? About the fact that this man you built a whole life with won't even answer the question as to whether he would have built said life with you had he met this girl before you. Mel says, I think it's some BS because the truth of the matter is he couldn't leave either of us alone. And had I not left, we would still be together right now. So Carlos says, well, it sounds like, the truth of the matter is you were in love with two women. And Mel, you just weren't enough for him to love all at once. Carlos, next time, just tell the girl you want to fight. Cause what is this? Just swing. She said, Martell has told me in the past that he was just being greedy. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing that I'm lacking. He was just being greedy. Carlos asked her, well, do you think it was just sex? And she says, no, I know it wasn't just sex. I'm not naive to time. And the amount of time that he spent with this woman tells me it's more than sex. But I believe my husband when he said he was done dealing with that, when he said he wanted to make this marriage work, when he said he didn't want to, cheat and do things that he was doing. She said, basically, Martell is very convincing when he tells you that this is not what he wants. And Martell over there, because I meant it. Shit, that ain't what I wanted. Get help. And Mel gives this example of this one time that Martell had pulled his back and she caught him crawling up the stairs. He crawled upstairs to a bathroom where he had a second phone hidden to be able to communicate with his girlfriend. And in response to this, Carlos turns to comfort Martell and says, I may get judged for this, but I believe you tried. You really tried. You did your best. And I think the truth is you just weren't honest with yourself about the connection you felt with this woman. Mel finally shows back up. Mel about sick of this shit now, okay? Mel said, let me ask you a question. If this girl is the entire meal restaurant like you just called her, then please help me understand. Why is he still seeing other women now? Carlos, could you tell her where to pick up her $1 million? Because that is a $1 million question. Like I said in the last review, the truth of the matter is, if he wanted to be married to her, he would be married to her now. There is nothing stopping him but himself. And what did Martell say? Martell said, well, the truth of the matter is just because you're seeing someone doesn't mean you have intention to marry them. And with our situation, just because me and you aren't together doesn't mean me and her are going to be together. Excuse me. Hello. Every side chick in America. Excuse me. This is your moment. This man is about to set you free for free. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you how many men I have heard say this. I have had a man of my own I have heard say this. Just because me and you ain't together don't mean I won't be with her. I mean, she... Motherfucker, then what is so you ruining your life for nothing? You're ruining your life for something you wouldn't even go rebuild your life with. But, okay. If you are dealing with a man that belongs to somebody else, if he's not honest enough to tell you Please receive the message from God through Martell, okay? Just because he is seeing you does not mean he wants you on the level of marriage. Just because he is seeing you on the side of this woman does not mean that if this relationship ends, y'all gonna be together. Y'all better take that piece of gold and invest it. Shit. So then Carlos asked Kimmy, Kimmy, do you think Martell is a manipulator? And Kimmy is like, I don't really know how to answer that, but I think Mel said it very poignantly. Yeah, because it seems like Carlos is on a Martell is not the bad guy campaign. Like, I get that a lot has fallen apart for Martell. I get that there may even be a brotherly camaraderie and you want to help him. You want to help him restore his image and rebuild his life. But this ain't it. So Kimmy says Martell, when he apologizes, he is very sincere. So I get what Mel is saying, but I do also believe that there is some truth to the fact that he had feelings for this woman. And Maurice says, yeah, I think the issue is that he has guilt about having feelings for this woman. And Martell over there, yeah, deep, that's it. So then we get to Carlos asking Maurice and Marceau, have y'all ever been around Martell and the side piece? Now, if we pay attention to any of the peripheral activities, we know that the side chick has already gone live at some point and said that Marceau has been in her presence and has accused Marceau of some things. So, what happened? Maurice says no. Marceau said yes. And Tisha looked at Maurice like, why you lying? So Marceau goes into explaining, yeah, we were in Atlanta on a guy's trip. This girl pops up out of nowhere and I tried to tell Martell, listen, this ain't it. He starts to say how Martell is pretty much a different guy around this girl. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And he says, basically, he's more aggressive. Let's just get into that real quick. What he's trying to say, because Martell was clearly confused by this, is Mel is the type of woman that Martell has to rise to. Whereas the side chick is the type of woman he gets to rise above. She's looking up to him while he's rising up to Mel. That's the difference. Yeah, you can be, aggressive and be the man when you feel like you the man. When, you're with your wife who you kind of have to level up to, you pipe down a little bit. Mel makes this comment about how shysty it is that you would be out with your friends and have your side chick out with your mutual friends. So Carlos finally interjects and said, well, listen, how long did y'all know about this? Marceau says maybe about a month and a half, 2 months before Melody. And Kimmy starts asking Marceau, well, did you know or did you speculate? Because sometimes women can be in the same environment with the man and, and then sometimes they'll touch on your husband away and you can tell that there's an energy that you don't like. And so did you know or did you just speculate? Like, Kimmy, I don't know what mission you're on. I guess maybe if you absolve Marceau of any guilt, then you absolve Maurice of any guilt, and you ain't got to deal with what may be going on in your marriage. But why in the hell do you think this man had his whole side chick pop up on his boys' trip? The boys said nothing. Nobody left the party, left the trip. Nobody told their wives. What would make you think he was speculating? Like, come on. Were you speculating? No, he wasn't speculating. No, he knew that was the side piece. Do you think Martell brought the girl around and was like, well, I ain't gonna really tell y'all who she is or what we be doing? Like, so Marceau says, well, yeah, I never saw them do anything. I don't know. And Kimmy says, so yeah, you didn't know, you just speculated. Like, what is the point you make? Like, moving on. Marceau kept making this comment, well, yeah, we kept trying to tell her this ain't it. And Tisha's like, what you mean by this ain't it? What is it? Because let me find out who qualifies to be your side chick. What you mean this ain't it? Mel interrupts and says, he means like the difference between a Honda and Rolls Royce. That's what he means. Martell jumps up, well, she got a degree from the same place as you, so And Mel goes off. Now here's my thing. Is that how we determine in value where people got degrees from? Like, this person is as good a person as you. This person is as qualified to be my wife as you. This person is as qualified to run businesses and build my brand as you. This person is as qualified to build and raise my family because they got a degree from the same place. Mel says, well, see, that's the disrespect. And Martell is like, well, I got a child with her now, so I don't want anybody disrespecting her. And Mel is like, well, listen, I have 4. And I was married to you for 12 years, but you would sit up and defend this woman. Here's my thing. This is my PSA. Stop holding out for somebody to respect you when they have shown you in every possible setting, scenario, and opportunity that they do not respect you. I don't care how much of your time, your life, your body, your ovaries, your money, I don't care how much you sacrifice. It will not make them love you or respect you. And when a person has shown you they do not love you or respect you, stop being shocked every time they demonstrate it after that. Move accordingly. They are doing them because this is just who they are. This is just who he is and what he does. And at every opportunity, he is going to disrespect you. It does not matter that you have his children. It does not matter that you have his name. It does not matter that you built a life with him for over a decade. That does not matter. If you believe this man is truly a narcissist, you have to understand that none of these things matter. All that matters is him and what makes him happy. If the man made a vow with God to take care of you and he disregarded his vow to God, please know the vow to you don't mean nothing. I'm just trying to help. I swear I am. I'm just frustrated and it ain't coming out nice. That's all. So Carlos interrupts the fighting to ask Tisha, as Marcel's wife and friend of Melody, how do you feel about knowing that your husband was aware and around what Martell had going on? And she said, I didn't think that was cool. I thought that was very shady because we're supposed to be friends, and how would you basically be hanging out with your friend and his side chick and then go sit up and smile in his wife's face? Like, and Kimmy was like, well, listen, if y'all are so adamantly opposed to what he was doing and this chick ain't it, once you tell him this chick ain't it, do you not just get in your car and leave? The guy's getting an uproar. No, what are we going to do? Leave and go tell our wives for them to go tell Mel? And Kimmy's like, I ain't said none of that. Like, I'm just saying I wouldn't sit and support that, because if it were me and I showed up to a restaurant or something and my girlfriend is cheating on her husband and she got her side dude there, I'm going to tell her this is not okay. I'm not with this. I'm not participating. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to leave. You know, and all the women agree that this is what they would do. And so Carlos asked Maurice, well, you know, would you do what your wife said do? And Maurice is like, no. He runs off this BS about, you know, you can't be an influence when you're gone. You can be an influence when you're there. So what you gonna do? Take him in the corner and have Bible study? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Maurice? Like, just say, this is not abnormal to us. This is what we do. Like, we don't make a big deal. Y'all make a big deal when y'all find out. Like, this is what we do. We smoke cigars and hang out with side chicks. So we finally get to move on. Thank you, God. Because that segment about took me out, okay? So we get into segment 2, which is where we actually get a behind the scenes look, where they are breaking for lunch and breaking down. Everybody's going their separate ways. Carlos comes over and hugs Mel and says, you know, I know that was a hard segment. And Mel is looking like, please get your ass off me. The guys are going to the back and Martell's talking shit about he gonna need to get, I guess I'm gonna have to bring my phone when I come back out. Shut your ass up, Martell. Mel goes in her dressing room with her mom and her glam crew and she's going off. And she's going off about how this is why she don't deal with Martell. She has a problem sitting on a stage with somebody who just makes stuff up. And, you know, where's the proof? Call the people up, bring the proof. And here's my thing. I totally get how she feels, where she's coming from. And she needed to release this steam after that segment, after what we watched. However, the whole where's the proof? Call them up. That was a day late and a dollar short for me. Okay. That's what I needed you to do when you hit him with the I don't think so and I don't remember. That's where that whole speech fit in. Let me tell you my other problem. Mel starts to break down about how she hates Huntsville. She wants to leave Huntsville so bad. But apparently what is keeping her bound to Huntsville is the custody agreement that she and Martell have. And her mom's response to Mel being upset, and what Mel is really crying and breaking down about is what she just endured in terms of the hurt and humiliation of that entire segment, of that line of questioning, of having to defend her value as a woman. That's what she's really breaking down about. And her mom's suggestion is, well, you know, it's just not fair. And my hope at this point is for you to have your kids in a safe, healthy environment. And so you're going to probably have to file for primary custody. Let me tell y'all something. And you might disagree with me. You can feel how you feel. You can get in the comments and tell me how you feel about it. But I'm going to tell you this. Custody is not a weapon. You don't get to interfere with his fatherhood because he sucks as a husband. You don't get to do that. It does not work like that. You don't get to punish a man by taking his kids from him because he was a cheating asshole and you want vengeance. You don't get to get your vengeance using your kids. I am so sorry. I will never stand behind a woman taking a man's children away from him as an act of spite or as an act of vengeance. Her mama pissed me off with that. I'm so sorry. I was trying with what I was trying. But that was too much for me. And like Mel said to her mama, they're not going to give it to me, mama, because you have to prove that he's unfit. And the fact of the matter is, he's not an unfit father. He's just an asshole. And it's at this point that Mel breaks down about how much she hates Huntsville. Everybody knows she hates Huntsville. She just wants to be able to leave, and her mama is telling her God is going to make a way. And if that's what you want, baby, pray. He will. Downsize your home in Alabama to offset the cost of you having a home in Atlanta. If this man has your children 2 weeks out of the month, go back and forth. If Atlanta is where you want to be, you take your 2 weeks that are yours and you go to Atlanta. And the 2 weeks that you are obligated to Alabama, you go back to Alabama. And let him be a father for those 2 weeks. And he claiming he can have full custody? He threatening full custody? Let him have his custody for them 2 weeks at a time and go live your life. Go live your life. And your kids will be raised before you know it. Listen, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. But you can skin that cat without selling your soul or compromising values. I'm just saying. So then we see the other couples talking about, you know, how it all went down. Kimmy and Maurice are having a conversation about how Kimmy is saying to Maurice, I don't think it's okay that you would say that you would basically entertain your friend and his side piece. Like, it makes you complicit. And Maurice is saying in a whole bunch of words, I really don't care. I'm never gonna just get up and leave a setting because somebody is cheating on their spouse, nor am I ever gonna tell the spouse that they're being cheated on. We gonna agree to disagree. Honey, your man is a flat out liar. And if you know like I know, you better keep your eyes open. That's all I got to say about that. So we see Tisha and Marceau, and Tisha is like, why would Maurice say that he was not there? Because Maurice was definitely on that trip. Marceau goes into straight bro mode. She's like, I don't remember if Maurice was there or not. He was definitely there. I don't remember seeing him. She said, oh, so now you want to lie. Well, I mean, I don't know. Memory just real hard to come by today. Just call it love and poly relationships, Huntsville, because I don't know what in the hell kind of marriages y'all got. And so then they go to resume the reunion. And just as I was thinking, I wish they would get some human hair wigs on this show, Destiny comes out. Now, let me tell you something. Destiny works my nerves a lot of the time, but one thing that heifer is going to do is lay and slay. Do you understand? She came out and she put them all to bed. I'm so sorry. Destiny came and laid it down. Destiny looked amazing, okay? However, this segment was a waste of my time. This segment was a bunch of Q&A pretty much about Destiny and LeBaric's relationship. He asked basically why she wouldn't talk about the divorce and what happened. And she's basically saying, you know, I was fighting for my marriage and I didn't want to talk bad about it if we were going to make it work. Was it LeBaric's request that you couldn't talk about? No, I just didn't want to talk about it. Like, look, it was just a whole bunch of filler Q&A about her relationship, how long they've been together. Like, we don't care. We have watched a whole season of being told it ain't our business, just to be asked a bunch of questions that are answered in long form, it ain't y'all business. Okay, bye. So Carlos brings up the moment with Martell at Destiny's store where Martell makes this comment about you and Mel both have too much mouth. That's why LeBaric is divorcing your ass now. Mel puts up a clown face emoji. And so Martell is like, well, why is that, you know, a clown thing? And in true Mel and Martell fashion, they literally take over Destiny's segment with their arguing. Here Martell goes with his 18th century speech about a man don't want a mouthy woman. Now, let me tell you something. I am from the deep south. I don't know if it's a thing with dumb men. I don't know if it's a thing with deep southern men. I don't know if it's just men. But this whole men don't want a mouthy woman. Well, please take your ass to Stepford, Connecticut and get you a Stepford wife, okay? Leave us the hell alone. If we a little too loud, a little too mouthy, a little too opinionated for you, please go on about your business and leave us for men who are capable. Rather than asking straight out, why did y'all get a divorce? Carlos keeps asking all these pointed questions about, is this the reason? Is this the reason? Is this the reason? Well, remember when y'all were having the disagreement about you wouldn't take his name? Is it because you wouldn't take his name? And this opens up this whole discussion about men and how men feel about having their name taken. And Kimmy gives this whole speech about, you know, it's about legacy and it's important for men. You just have to know where your deal breakers are, because if I wasn't willing to take his name, that would have just been a deal breaker. And by the same token, my son doesn't have his father's name. He has my father's name. So my father was really happy that our name would be carried on through my son. Kimmy, that was the most pick-me-ass speech I have ever heard. Oh, it don't even make a lot of sense. Marceau makes this comment about how legacy is important to men and men like to put their name on things. Let me tell you where you messed up at. Women ain't things. And as sure as you want a legacy, I want one too. Why should I give up the right to my own legacy for the sake of your security? Because your ego feels a certain way and you want to collect a wife and put your name on a thing. Men like to put their name on things. Okay, then go get you some properties and some LLCs, because a lady ain't one of the things you can put your name on. Now, I can take your name and represent your name. I can add value to your name, but I'm not a thing you put your name on and own me. Like, they drove me to drink with this. I mean, when I tell you they drove me to drink with this. Like, what? Men like to put their name on things. Get your ass out my face. And then they get into this thing where Marceau says, you know, you ain't a man, but you got that little thing on you. And Destiny said, well, it's a big thing. Girl, God damn. Well, all right then. Destiny said, yes, I have BDE, okay? That big energy. Yeah, I do. I felt her in that moment. because that was literally to push back that misogynistic energy. That whole, I'ma put you in your place and remind you a woman energy. You damn right I got that little thing. How little is yours? I don't know why I get mad. I get mad every single episode like this some new shit. I get mad every single time. So next is Tiffany and Lewis. This was an even greater waste of time. Carlos asked them about what it's like, you know, their first year on the show. Yeah, they were fans before. Carlos says, you know, basically social media will whoop your ass. So did you get your ass beat in the street while, you know, the season was going on? She's like, yeah, I'm surprised he didn't jump off a bridge. Like, then Carlos goes in this speech about how the Love and Marriage Huntsville audience does not like change. When Destiny first came on, they dragged Destiny. When Siddharth came on, they dragged Siddharth. You're not going to make us the problem. That's what you're not going to do. This girl is the trifling, messy, and rude that you called her at the beginning of the segment. So do not make it about us. We don't like change and we have problems adjusting and adapting when you done gave us passive aggressive Karen. Don't do us, but let's carry on. Carlos finally asked Tisha, you know, you feel like they ain't real. They ain't showing us the real deal about them. Why is that? And Tisha said, because when I talk to her, I don't get no real meat. All she giving me is rice. I want some meat and gravy on my rice, okay? And Tiffany's response to that is, well, in real life, in real relationship, you don't meet people and go give me the tea or start spilling tea. Well, Tiffany, let's have a quick meeting, because in real life, what you did was you showed up at a birthday party that you were invited to as a +1. And the way that you wanted to establish relevance was you started spilling everybody else's moldy spigot tea all over the damn table. So you can't say that I want to set this precedent of when I meet people, let's talk about the deep, dark stuff going on in your life. But when it comes to me, that's just not even a realistic expectation that people socialize like that. Like, girl, please take your passive aggressive BS and please go up the street. So they bring up the whole birthday party moment. How did you feel about that, Maurice, when you saw that? Maurice, basically it was out of place and unnecessary. Why are we talking about kids at all? It came across like, ooh, I think I got some dirt on you. Here you go. And so Kimmy is like, I was completely caught off guard in that moment, and our relationship would have started off far worse had I had my wits about me. Basically, in layman's terms, I would have cursed your ass out if I had my good sense. But I was so shocked that you were this tacky that I couldn't even gather myself. So you need to thank the good Lord and all the favor that you have that I could not gather my wits, because I would have cursed your ass out and dragged you for filth. That's what she meant. And then Kimmy further goes on to make the point that what was also very problematic about this moment is that nobody turned to this girl to say, you done crossed the line. You're absolutely wrong. It was, oh, Kimmy, you didn't know that? Oh, Kimmy, why didn't you know that? Oh, that's a problem. Oh, and then they turned it to Mel, because Mel is real quiet now. And they're like, so did you feel like maybe Mel should have in that moment, since Mel is who brought her around, do you think Mel should have stepped up in that moment? She's as a mom, just to say that this is inappropriate. And Maurice, yeah. And Kimmy is like, yeah, something should happen. Then Kimmy brought up the grass scene where Tiffany was cutting her grass and her and Lewis was in the yard, and Lewis was talking that trash about, yeah, it's a good thing I didn't take that shot before we had that conversation where Maurice made his wife cry about talking about his child. Kimmy basically in this scene let us know that she is about that life and she has been being repressed all this time, okay? Kimmy about snatched her damn earrings off. Kimmy said, yeah, what you should have done was took that shot, because wasn't nothing gonna happen, but we was gonna take all that Scott DNA, we was gonna shake it up, and we was gonna see what was gonna happen. Tisha over there with her eyes big as, like, whoo, yeah, because Kimmy done come out her bag. Kimmy ready to fight. What you was gonna do if you took the shot? Player. Say something else. That's all Kimmy needed to do. So Carlos old messy ass, so you think he was selling wolf tickets. Kimmy said, yeah, he was selling wolf tickets because he was in the moment and he ain't said nothing. And now y'all get home in front of these cameras and yeah, if I had took the shot, it would have gone real different. Y'all need to be one season wonders because, yeah, y'all just done got punked all over this damn stage. So then they finally asked Mel, well, you know, you've been friends with her the longest. Do you feel like she's transparent? And she gives this politician's answer, you know, about, well, when it comes to transparency, I've known her as a business friend. I don't know her as a personal friend. So I don't know about, you know, and Kimmy is like, so basically you saying you don't have an opinion with your wishy-washy ass. And what I noticed too is for some reason, when everybody is holding Tiffany and Lewis's feet to the fire about how y'all are rehearsed and fake, Mel and Martell, for some reason, are both on the same accord about defending and protecting Tiffany and Lewis. And Carlos gets around to asking, well, are there things about Tiffany and Lewis that y'all know that are not being showed on the show? And everybody like a sunbeam quiet. Yes. So Kimmy says, well, yeah, here's an example. I heard Tiffany got fired from the chamber. And Tiffany is like, no, I didn't. Kimmy said, well, I heard it from somebody who is a very reliable source that still works at the chamber. Girl, it's probably your supervisor. Your supervisor done fired you and gone told your business. Them people hell. Kimmy said, basically, the long and short of it, stop pretending that you are so transparent or that everybody else is refusing to be transparent and you're so transparent when you're absolutely not. So Martell all of a sudden goes back into Matlock defense mode by, well, you ain't transparent and you ain't transparent and y'all worry about them being transparent. And Marceau said, well, I never claimed to be transparent. He said, the thing is, let's talk about the definition of transparency. He said, transparency is not ask me a question and I'll tell you what you want to know. Transparency is you can see through me. So you don't have to ask me no bunch of questions. One, because it's already evident. And two, it's coming out of me. All right, Pastor Marceau, you making a little bit of sense there. I might agree. And then Carlos led Marceau to finish dragging them for filth. Carlos asked Marceau, when you look at Tiffany and Lewis, do you see a successful marriage? Marceau said everything except hell no. He said, you know, basically this is their second marriage. They've been married barely a year. They both failed the first time. The fact that they got divorced and got remarried does not make them an expert in marriage. It makes them an expert in divorce. Marceau said the people only still together right now because they've been married less than a year. And this is the I just can't give up now stage. I said, Lord, just turn on to Mary Mary. He said, I just can't give up now stage. He said, you'd be embarrassed to get divorced in the first year. I mean, I said, Lord. Marceau just dragged the people and their marriage for filth. And so here Lewis comes trying to defend it and like, you know, well, it doesn't make me an expert in divorce. I mean, because there's things in your marriage that could be in your face and you don't even see it. So Carlos asked Tiffany, well, how do you feel about Marceau's position? And she said, well, everybody has an opinion just like everyone has an asshole. And Marceau said, well, don't share your asshole with me, okay? And Tisha finally jumps back in. Tisha sitting over there looking like she rolling on the river. About some, you know what? Let me tell y'all something. Every time somebody new come on this show, they feel the need to give us advice when we have the longest standing marriage. So I'm going to need y'all to put some respect on our marriage. I said, well, Tisha, you ain't lied about that. And that is where the episode ends. We'll put some respect on our damn marriage. And we see that next week, it'll be just the ladies going at each other's necks, okay? You got passive-aggressive Karen over here after you done picked a fight with this girl. But I don't understand why you're so snappy. Save it, okay? Then you got Destiny telling Mel, I ain't talked to you since filming rap, and Tisha telling her, you don't know how to be a friend. So we gonna see how they is getting into it on the last part, okay? All right. Ciao. They worked me and they wore me out. That's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, letting me get it off my chest. As always, I appreciate you. I will see you next time. Love you, mean it. Bye.